This screencast, I'm going to show you how I began to set up pre and post assessments based on the chapter homeworks the students do and the lab assignments that they do. So if we go into the lessons area, which we already were in there, scroll down to this cellular physiology lesson, for example. All of these are lessons that my students are doing, but I haven't set up all of them to show these pre-lab or pre-assignment assessments yet, but this one I have. So you go in here, chapter 3 pre-assessment. So this will be the first thing that the students do in the lesson now before they go through the PowerPoints and all the other stuff that they're doing within this lesson. So they'll do this chapter 3 pre-assessment. It gives them a little bit of information there, and it tells them to go over to MasteringA&P, which is the main site that they use to do all their homework and all that sort of thing. And once they're over here, go into the assignments area. You now will see that there's a chapter 3 pre-assessment, which I'll set the proper due dates and times and all that when I get to this for the summer class, which I'm getting all these ready for. Then that will go along with this chapter 3 homework, which is what they've been doing up until now. The chapter homeworks have always been kind of a post-assessment after they've studied, after they've gone through all the material. It's almost like a review type homework assignment. Well, now there'll also be these pre-assessments, which, if we look at them, they're basically just short little assignments that I set up, 10 questions that are based on the chapter reading, these little quiz questions that are part of the chapters that look at some of the bigger kind of main points that each part of the chapter is going over. So these will act as good pre-chapter assessments to see where students are at. And then I'll also be able to link these to the learning outcomes so that I can look at how well the students meet the outcomes before they actually read and do all the homework and studying of the chapter. And then I'll be able to compare to the same thing on the chapter 3 homework. I'll be able to look at those outcomes, see how they did, as well as the scores. And then also I'll be able to compare them a third time to the outcomes on the exams as well. So I'll be able to get quite a little bit of data to compare for how, and to where hopefully the students are getting a little bit better from the pre-assessment to the homework to the exams. Hopefully they're getting better at mastering these outcomes. So the other way that I'm doing some pre-assessing or pre-assessments are in each of the lab exercises that they do. If we go into this one, for example, this is one of the first labs they do. Actually, it is the first lab they do. You go in here and you'll see, when we look at the content for this one, it looks like there's two questions on this assignment, but actually what it is, when you open these up, these are again like pre-lab type questions that in this case there's 4 of them that the students answer before they go over here and click on this and open up the actual simulated computer equipment that they use to learn about, in this case, dialysis, simple diffusion. And so they answer these. This will give them an idea of where they're at pre-lab, and also I can look at it and use that as a comparison. So they do that. Once they do that, then they go to the next item, which is the post-lab. So after they've done this exercise, collected all their data and saved all that information in another, it actually saves as a PDF that they keep on their computer. They then can go in and answer these post-lab questions so that we can then they and I can get an appreciation for, how well they do before doing the lab and then after doing the lab. And that's how I am doing the pre and post lab assignments. Once they're completely done with this, then they also do a review sheet that reviews the whole lab with them, and they take a quiz as well to see how well they're doing. And then these obviously can be linked to outcomes just like the homeworks are. So that is how I have begun to incorporate pre-assignment assessments and be able to compare them to post-lesson or post-chapter assessments as well.